And I believe we're live. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hey, you guys, I'm very excited to have you today. Everybody, take a deep breath and get nice and comfortable. I am your hostess with the mostest, Ascending Master Lilith, here during the end times to walk you through it. Hello, hello, hello. I am your messenger of God. I am you can call me the High Priestess Phoenix. I am your spiritual healer, teacher, shaman, seer, oracle, mystic, psychic, medium, light worker, starseed, master alchemist, and more. Here to provide a really beautiful message from the other ascending masters. And the crowd goes wild. I'm so very honored, truthfully. Why? Because, there's a lot of hidden forces that work with me, and I don't really get to speak about a lot of it because most of it you just can't really put into words anyways. Oh, how interesting. Some of my cards are fell down. But anyways, I had said for the last... Anybody new? What's up? What's up? Welcome. You're catching probably one of the most intriguing videos you're ever going to see on my page. No, there's more to come. We're just stepping deep into the light. Everybody else, you guys saw this coming. I told you that the Pleiadians were, pulling on me. Ooh, got a lot more than the Pleiadians out there. What does this have to do? Well, in order for you to keep up with me, you're going to have to go catch... Oh, jeez. When did this happen, guys? This last weekend or the weekend before? 2 weekends ago, I stepped into the light. And I got locked back up in heaven. And I got a new spirit guides and all this stuff. And I've been hanging out with, the typical ascending masters, these guys. But there's lots of us. And that's what I said. They're all great and all, but they're not in the dark. I'm the only one in the dark. And it kind of gets a little redundant. Anyways, so all of us are forces. We're all forces to be that are part of this huge shift that's happening with humanity. A little bit more of an intro to that would be in my community page, meaning we were all created before we were, before God's creation of the earth. You know what I mean? He created the universe, and then he created earth, and then he created man. And then it's like, okay, who wants to play mankind? Okay, well, we've played in all the other departments. What else do we get to play? I nominate myself as you. Meaning what? I'll play God as a girl form. That sounds good. All right, cool. You'll be that person. Okay, so we all had a role to play, and we all played these wonderful roles here in the League of Life. Different times and different spaces, and I've had my fun times and this and that. But ultimately, I'm part of the elite. I'm a divine being. I can't say the rest. I can't say the same for all of you, but I do know that many of you are demigods, gods, and goddesses of your own creation in different times and spacious stations. But right now, no, you're just deadbeat flesh bags that don't really know anything about anything, and that's okay, because I was like you before I woke up, and I'm here to teach you how to wake up. But we're going to get into, everybody that taught about this before, because, in the last... forever long ago, we've been in Revelations, and I've been teaching you, the biblical way of what's really playing out right now. Why are these timelines not played out? These times are already played out. You know what I mean? We know what happens in Odin's timeline. We know how this ended. You know what I mean? We played these roles. This is the ultimate end game. We're in the end game. So anyways, these are some of the ascending masters that you might hear of, in other cultures. So we have Surya Vishnu, who is, the maintainer of the universe. Chickadee check. We have Sir Buddha, who is the Lord of Compassion, which exactly what Christ stands for. Yes. We have Sir Krsna, the Lord of Love. Well, goodness sakes, that was exactly what Jesus stood for. Okay, so this guy is the Lord of the Universe, Melchizedek, or Enoch, as you might know from the biblicals. Was it Melchizedek? Oh, no, it was Metatron. Forgive me. And he is Melchizedek is the way to heaven, the ascension path. And Metatron was Enoch, and he kept all of that. We were all biblical, stories and stuff. We were all many things before we were these things. But in order to, experience heaven on earth, we had to go through the earthly experience and be humans, the human being experience. So there's many of us that came. This is just my time to shine, but they came before me, and they guide me, and they walk us through this. So I'm very honored. I thought we were going to just start with the whole, Star Wars force, and that one makes me feel really lost in the Force. It's hard to bring you guys to the understanding that those beings in the sky are here to protect you, and they were here before you, and they understand that you're a child of God too. You are a universal being. You only see yourself as this dominant human being with a name and, zip code and shit. But anyways, when I get into this, it's kind of hard. But they gave me a nice little order to this. I've been part of the Melchizedek. I was initiated into the Melchizedek order as soon as I awoken. Say, oh, you have work to do. In my very first story, when I awoken, here's a story, where I'm walking up Mother Cabrini's shrine. And I have this whole awakening process, staring in front of, I believe it was the resurrection stone. I have this whole situation that I describe in the video. It's all in the documentary, where my heart has a conversation with an entity dressed in white over on a mountainside. And I describe this whole situation. And while I'm having this conversation, another entity, as I say it, outside of us, taps into the conversation. And the conversation from my heart is, where have you been? I'm ready. Right? That's what happens. And then this other entity comes in, and it becomes a triad conversation. Anyways, so there's how that goes, and whatever. So anyways, I'm going to go into some of this stuff. I've been teaching you for a long time now, recently, all about biblical scripture. Maybe you didn't know the Bible. That's cool. Okay, cool. I have these books too, which are considered Bibles in other places. I've never even opened these, but as soon as I did, they showed me exactly what to tell you. I'm very honored to talk to you about these things. We're going to start with Buddha. This is his book. I've never opened it. I was gifted it right before. Gifted in the sense of God brings me to things and stuff and things. So I've never even actually opened it, and all of my day ones can tell you that. But today they said open it to this page. Okay? So this is all going to make sense. Ride with me. Okay? Went to this page. Causation. Okay? On page 80. 8. Infinity. Okay. As you can see, it's real. Because it really has it in their language too. Isn't that beautiful writing? How fantastic. You do know that they write the other way around. We're lame. They probably use better math too. Anyways, we're going to read it as best as I can in this way. Coming straight from you, from Buddha. Okay? Okay. Causation. Number 1. There are causes for human suffering, and there is always a way which they may be ended. Because everything in the world is a result of a vast concurrence of causes and conditions, and everything disappears as these causes and conditions change and pass away. Rain falls, wind blows, plants bloom, leaves mature and are blown away. These phenomena are all interrelated with the cause and condition, and they are brought with by them the disappear as the cause and condition changes. One is born through the condition of parentage. Okay, you were born through human beings. That's what I'm saying. Going back to, Kevin Featherline and my dickhead baby daddy. They had to come through somewhere. I had to come in this world. We must all come in the same way. A soul must be incarnated through a man and a woman. Okay? Doesn't matter. That all we got to do is work through the skin we got. You know what I mean? That's it. Here we go. His body is nourished by food. His spirit is nourished by teaching and experience. Therefore, both the flesh and the spirit are related to conditions and are changed by conditions changed. As a net, we are made up of a series of knots. So everything in this world is connected by a series of knots. If anyone thinks that the mesh of net is an independent, isolated thing, he is mistaken. It is called a net because it is made up of a series of connected meshes, and each meshes has its place and responsibility in relation to the other meshes. Okay. And I'm seeing this, sacred geometry. It talks about the alignment. Everything is connected, the interconnection of the oneness. We're all connected. Even though we're moving in different, we're all part of the interconnectedness, the oneness. Okay? Stay with us. It's hard to translate light in such a way. Let's see. Blossoms come about because of a series of conditions that lead up to their blooming. Instead, are blown away because of a series of conditions led up to it. Okay, so, again, we have our green blossoms. Oh, she might get mad if I do this. I'm gonna do it. Don't do it. Oh, she's gonna get mad. She made a cherry blossom. And then they blossom, but then they fall off. But then soon they'll be green again. She's going to be pissed that I did that. It's okay. She'll fix it. Yeah, remember she made a cherry blossom Lego set? Yep. Yeah, we be doing stuff. Leaves are blown away because the series of conditions lead up to it. Blossoms do not appear independent, nor does a leaf fall of itself, out of its season. So everything has passing away. Nothing can be independent without any change. It is the everlasting and unchanging rule of this world that everything is created by a series of causes and conditions, and everything disappears by the same rule. Everything changes, nothing remains constant. Dependent or origination. Number 3. Where is the source of human grief, lamentation, pain, and agony? It is not to be found in the fact that people are generally desirous or disastrous. I don't know, desirous? Yeah. They cling abstainedly to lives of wealth and honor, comfort and pleasure, excitement and self-indulgence, ignorance of the fact that the desire for these very things is a source of human suffering. From its beginning, the world has been filled with a succession of calamities, over and above the unavoidable facts of illness, old age, and death. But if one carefully considers all the facets, one must be convinced that at the basis of all suffering lies the principle of craving desire. If adversary can be removed, human suffering will come to an end. Ignorance is manifested in greed that fills the human mind. It comes from a fact that men are unaware of the true reason of the succession of things. For ignorance and greed are from ignorance and greed there springs impure desires for things that are, in fact, unattainable, but for more which men relentlessly and blindly search. Because of ignorance and greed, people imagine discriminations where in reality there are no discriminations. Inherently, there is no discrimination of right or wrong in human behavior, but people, because of their ignorance, imagine such distinctions and judge them as right and wrong. Because of their ignorance, all people are always thinking wrong thoughts and always losing the right viewpoints and clinging to their egos. They take wrong actions. As a result, they become attached to a delusive existence, making their deeds the field for their egos, using the workings of discrimination of the mind as seeds beclouded in the mind by ignorance, fertilizing it with the rain of craving desires, irrigating it by the willfulness of egotism. They add to the conception of evil and carry this incarnation of delusion about with them. In reality, therefore, it is their own mind that causes the delusions of grief, lamentation, pain, and agony. This world of delusion is nothing but a shadow caused by the mind, and yet it is also from the same mind that the world of enlightenment appears. In this world, there are 3 wrong viewpoints. If one clings to these viewpoints, then all things in this world are but to be denied. First, some say that all human experience is based on destiny. Second, some hold that everything is created by God and controlled by His will. Third, some say that everything happens by chance without having any cause or condition. Do you mind? If all have been decided by destiny, both God's good deeds and evil deeds are predetermined. Weal and woe are predestined. Nothing would exist that has not been foreordained. All human plans and efforts for improvement and progress would be in vain. Humanity would be without hope. And that's it. You can change. That's what they would say. You can change your life today if you accept Jesus Christ into your heart. The same is true of other viewpoints. For if everything is the last resort in the hands of the unknowable God or the blind chance, what hope has humanity except in submission? It is no wonder that people holding these conceptions lose hope and neglect efforts to act wisely and avoid evil. In fact, 3 conceptions or viewpoints are all wrong. Everything in succession of appearance whose source is the accumulation of cause and condition. Okay, I'm going to stop there. The next is chapter 2, the theory of mind only and the realist state of things. We talked about your materialism and your egotism is fake. Okay, so that was very interesting. Now, I'm going to pull Buddha out because that's a whole nother area. That's, how do I know him? We know each other. Yes. Okay, we're going to talk about the teachings of Krsna. Krsna was under, you know what I mean? That was all part of Vishnu. And how do I know him? Kali, baby. Kali got gunplay. Models on the runway. Singing Biggie, give me one more chance. Okay, so I've never read this either. We ever opened this. And I said, where do you want me to go? Right here. The Climbing Mountain. They've got a very strict message for all of you. In climbing this mountain, willpower, self-help, intensive personal effort, and absolute essentials. The literal translation of verse 5 is, one should lift oneself up by oneself. A play on the word Atman. Oh no, that's not where he wanted me to start. It was right here. These things. These, Krsna says, are true yogis. Okay, what's a yogi? It's a guru, like myself, or ascending master. They cannot harbor any malice. Cannot even bring themselves to look upon anyone as an enemy. They are, okay, I'm not very good at his words, Sama Buddhai, an equal mind. A true yogini are fully integrated on all levels of consciousness, feel everyone's joy and sorrow just as they were their own. They see the self in all beings everywhere. How is the self-conquest to be made? Very simple. The Gita teaches that the mind must be made one-pointed through the practice of meditation. This is a basic technique in the Gita. We do not see the tendency for elaboration, for ritual and mystery. We sometimes find in the Hindu traditions, Krsna simply tells Arjuna, which is another god, first that he must find a appropriate place to meditate. A suitable spot for his practice will be clean and comfortable. In a nod to tradition, one verse recommends the meditation seat be covered with Krsna grass and a deer skin, the traditional seat of the yogi. The important thing, however, is not how the meditation seat is made, but what is going on in the mind. Meditation is an internal discipline to make the mind one-pointed, absolutely concentrated. Okay, what am I talking about? Going back to biblical, this is talking about your prayers, your devotions, your time with God. How much time do you give to God and how do you pray? You know, going back to, hold on, I've got too many going on here. How Muslims pray. They're very distinctive. You know, we were having a good talk with, I was having a good talk about the Lord's Supper. Most churches, Catholic churches, do it on specific, you know, there's different times when you're supposed to do the Lord's Supper. And that, in fact, is another ritual where you're not supposed to approach that plate if you're not good in the heart. You cannot just take this drink and this bread. You know what I mean? It's stuff like that. And that's what it is to tradition, to honoring religious traditions. That's how they honor God. You know what I mean? Whether it be, you know what I mean, through the Lord's Supper or through, you know, the way that you sit down and meditate, you must understand that every tradition had a way to access God. Down to the tabernacle. Have you ever read the freaking Old Testament? They spent like, oh my gosh, bro, forever telling you how to build a bitch. Exactly. It had to be exactly built, perfected. If you were going to access the Holy Spirit, it had to be done in such a way. So there's these very strict ceremonial ritual ways through cultures to access their deities. So going back to you tarot readers, you are absolutely just disrespectful, just bringing these deities' names into your low vibrational karmic readings, saying that you're calling upon them and that they're watching over this. They would do no such thing, and you curse their name and take their names into vain. They would be no part of such fleshly things. How dare you say such things? Forgive them, for they know not what they do. Well, I'm making you aware that you must not do such things. Okay? Okay. So that's kind of what that's talking about. Now, second, Krsna instructs Arjuna to hold the body, head, and neck in a straight line. Why am I teaching you this? This has to do with the Pleiadians. Keep this in mind. Because now, when we get back to the end of where we started, which goes back to Pleiadian light force, which is in essence, guys, they're alien beings from the Pleiadian stars that come and talk to human beings in their dream state and give them transmissions, just as these Holy Spirits do. They came and spoke to them, and they're teaching them how to do it in a scientific way. I'm from ancient Egypt. I know it from being the Isis, how to align the chakras, how to bring the spirit back to life inside of the body. We all know a certain way of how to activate the Sacred Heart. Okay? Okay. So, that's what I want to talk about this. Keep this in mind. As soon as I knew this was all going to make sense and how we're all part of the light force. This may seem erotic, a reference to the contortion school of yoga, but it has practical purpose. Sitting absolutely straight with the spinal column erect prevents drowsiness. Also, in advanced stages of meditation, it allows for the free flow of vital energy, or kundalini. See the glossary, not today. This practical advice is given moderation in the path of neither extreme asceticism nor indulgence will aid meditation. Okay, now going back to yoga. Why do people do yoga classes? Because they can force your body into an obtruse alignment to align your chakras, when really I'm telling you how to do it in such a way where we clean them completely out. It is a daily event, because that's where you're, you know what I mean, it's your black hole, but it's all where everything comes from. So it's always pulling in and pushing out. It's the actual energetic field inside of you. You know what I mean? That 8. It's the configuration. You know what I mean? It happens right inside of you. That 8. You're pulling in and putting out, pulling in and pulling out, pulling in. The whole universe is working from inside of you, and I teach you how to alchemize that shit. Take in bad, put it, because otherwise all you're doing is fueling it. You're taking in bad energy and you're fueling it and putting out bad energy. Negativity, if you will. Okay, then practical advice is given, moderation, blah, 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 blah. And in a central acquaintance with Hindu culture may give the impression that it fosters either the sensuality of Kama Sutra for the asceticism of the hermit. It is true that in Indian civilization, we can easily see the development of sensual and artistic in many manifestations. And that's where my sexual magic becomes a little bit dangerous. In painting, sculptures, music, and dance. The Indian cuisine is famous for its variety of flavors and spices. India also presents us with the attire simplicity and the wandering holy man and sadhu, I guess. The Gita, however, recommends the middle path, success in meditation. Krsna says, "Come neither to those who eat or sleep too much, nor to those who eat or sleep too little." And that's it. There's no gray. The body should be neither overindulged nor treated harshly. The same recommendation of the Buddha offers. Yep, the same recommendation the Buddha offers. This chapter contains the famous verse 619, comparing the mind to a steady flame. It is the very nature of the untamed mind that is relentless, constantly wandering here and there, trying to fulfill its desires. It flickers wildly like a flame in a storm, never blown completely out, yet at the mercy of the wind. Wherever the mind wanders, Krsna says it must be brought back to its source. It must learn to rest in itself. Once it is at home in the depths of contemplation, the mind becomes steady, like an upright, unflickering flame in the wildless or windless place. And that's what it means to hold the light, to hold the flame. You know what I mean? In this deep meditation, only there can a human being find true fulfillment. Then the still mind touches Brahman and enjoys bliss. Okay. These are all cards. These are all gods, and they talk about it. So for those that don't know, these would also be, you could learn about these gods in Greek mythology. There was the god of thunder, the god of, you know what I mean? There was always that. So he said Brahman. I've already pulled these cards. You guys know the names. There it is. So that would be the god of creation. So that's, you know what I mean? Instills creativity, overcoming infertility, happiness in this world, aids in the learning process, and is the Lord of all creatures. You know what I mean? They all looked over a certain part. God gave, we are all, ultimately, this is really what it is. We were made in God's image. Some of us truly empower God within our flesh, and we walk as, God intended for us. The rest of you are walking as fallen angels. But that's okay. That's okay. I'm here for you. That's okay. It's okay. You're okay. God made you this way. We're just going to get you back to the light and get you all cleaned up. It's okay. It's okay. Don't get all down on the ass. Anyways, I don't know where I was. Shit. Come on. What's your language? I try. Fulfillment. Oh, yeah. The still mind touches Brahma and enjoys bliss. Now, Arjuna asked an inevitable question. Krsna is far ahead of himself. Yeah, I put it away. Okay. Do you see Krsna? Yeah, you see Krsna? Krsna? Yes, yes. I know, I love the cows. They're so great, aren't they? Dude, you guys should see the longhorns. Holy moly. Oklahoma doesn't like that word, but the longhorns are beautiful. They're fucking beautiful. Anyways, and they're real cows. They're beautiful. They're fucking beautiful. They look like, the horns that come out, oh my gosh, dude, they're very devilicious, dude. They said the devil had horns like that. They said I did. They're so magnificent. You know what I mean? Have you ever really seen the horns that come off the goats and the rams and man, it's amazing. They're really, same as the deer and they gave them these beautiful crowns, the elk and the moose. Man, it's amazing. Anyways, they gotta carry that big old head. So do I. It's too heavy. God, my head is too heavy. Just kidding. Okay, alright. Let's see. Krsna is far ahead. Okay, now Arjuna asks the inevitable question. Krsna is far ahead of him. The struggling discipline simply can't catch up. He says, my mind is so restless and unsteady that I cannot even comprehend anything about this state of mystic peace you're talking about. And I said this in the beginning. I'm going to get to a point where people are going to be like, I don't even know what you're talking about. How do you manifest? What are you talking about? Meditate. Oh, man, guys, there's lots of it. I'm going to walk you through it. Calm down. Take it easy. You cannot force this on too fast. The mind is so powerful, so turbulent, that trying to bring it under control is like trying to catch the wind. And that's it. You don't. And the great example is on Monday. Oh my God, I'm filled with so much pain and anger and hatred. Take my wicked heart. No, that comes with the skin you wear. You got to ride this one out. Are you serious? Pock. Shorty, keep your head up. Kobe. You can do this. This too shall pass. Oh my God, you guys. It's just part of the flesh, bro. Ride it. Oh, I hate him so much. No, you don't. Just get through the feelings. And that's what it is, bro. It's like, oh, you can't stop it. You just have to go with it. Krsna admits that the mind is terribly hard to train, but he maintains that it can be done through regular practice if one has detachment. And that's what it is you have to. It takes baby steps. And that's why the whole message is jump, dude. Start to detach a little. Pull a little bit of the Velcro off. You're so detached to the world. We got to get a little bit. How did I get here? Oh, I got to give up everything all day, every day. And then there's a lot of stories to how that works. But, you're not going to have to do it right away. Baby steps, bro. Baby steps. I promise. Baby steps. And then it becomes, It becomes natural where you're like, I know, I got to. It's not like it doesn't hurt. You just know what you got to do. And you know you have the strength to do it. You just do it. Nike, just do it. It is interesting that he does not offer to help Arjuna here. That will come later. For now, he tells Arjuna that he must do it for himself, through hard work and detachment from private personal motives. Then Arjuna asks a rather surprising question. What happens to the person who believes in a spiritual goal but does not pursue it in the end? What if one is more powerful compulsive desire gets the best of him, scattering his resolution the way a cloud is scattered by the wind? Either Arjuna is not prepared to seek self-realization, or he's afraid that somehow he might fail if he tried. If he were to fail, he asked, would he have lost everything? All that he had given up in the worldly life, as well as his goal to self-fulfillment. This is a good question, because I look at Kanye and I'm like, yeah, if you don't keep going, you lose yourself. I don't know. Let's see what Krsna says. Affectionately, Krsna assures Arjuna that no attempt to improve his spiritual condition could be a wasted effort. Even look ahead to the next life. He has nothing to lose and everything to gain. He will be reborn in a household stable for taking up his quest where he left off. In his next life, he will feel drawn to spiritual goal once again, and he will have a head start. Yeah, that's what I said. Either in this lifetime or the next, you'll be driven to it. And that's it. If you don't wake up in this lifetime, you'll be born into an awoken civilization in the next lifetime. We're already awakening. If you don't awaken in this lifetime, it's okay. You'll be born into an awoken, you know what I mean, world where you'll awaken in the next lifetime. Yeah, I kind of knew that. All right, so thank you, Krsna. Oh, wait, a little bit more about that. So I read the book. I do have the book of self-realization, the science of self-realization. Those came later. The first book I got of Krsna's teaching was the science of reincarnation. Naturally, I didn't need to be woken. I need to realize that I was reincarnated. I didn't need all of that. And by the time I read it, I was already awoken. So, I want to talk about this. I want to talk a little bit about this before we go into the Pleiadians. Because again, these are a civilization from another planet. Actually, a star constellation. And, you know, as astrology places all of your religion on those stars and how those planets are moving, it's extremely important to you to know that religion based it too. You know what I mean? Isis, ancient Egypt, you know, we didn't have all those lights. We saw the lights and we went with, you know, just as Jesus, we followed the North Star, we followed the stars. So I want to talk about this. I've never opened this either. And again, he told me where to go. Okay, so this is the person that wrote all of these books. He was chosen by Krsna. His divine grace, I can't say his name, Swami Prabhupada. Okay, he is the founder that writes all of these books about the Krsna consciousness. So he was the passed on. He was the ascended in this lifetime. He was the flesh that knew the teachings. Okay, now all of these books are him. I have all of these Krsna conscious books. It's him, but I can't always say his name because if I could hear it said, I might be able to. So then they brought me to this page. Okay. Again, I have not read this, but this is about Krsna. More of Krsna's teachings. Okay. For further details on this subject, one should read literature like the Bhagavad Gita, Ramasata Sinhu, in which we have presented an English summary studied the nectar of devotion. The whole process of transferring oneself into spiritual sky involves gradually liquidating the material composition of the gross and subtle coverings of the spirit soul. Okay. First, it takes time, but you will know that you are a soul. I'm in a place now where at first my soul was just inside the body, and I spent a lot of time, and I do still spend time trying to understand the spirit inside of the body. But now I'm past that. Now it's, people want to learn how to harness the spirit and put it in their body. Mine was understanding how to bring the spirit that's outside of me, that's part of me, to my body. It's a oneness. Though there's me inside of here, there's me outside of here too. Meaning, you know what I mean? That's connecting to your oneness. And then you're connected to allness. And that's what I say. What do I do all day? I watch the universe, bro. I watch the whole universe. And the best way I described it was Heimdall. The watchers. We sit. We watch humans. We watch the planets. We watch everything unfold. We watch. But in the essence, I don't just watch. I live here now. So I get to partake in it too. I get to have the human experience. You know, we've experienced life on other planets. We've experienced life throughout the multiverses. We've had all of our universal experiences. The ultimate experience is life. You know what I mean? Heaven on earth. Unfortunately, you guys made it hell for everybody. So we have to, you know, In order for us to experience it, we have to experience the human experience as many times as it took to experience the heaven on earth. Okay? But we're more than, the human experience, for sure. For sure, for sure. Okay, so in the sense of, when I'm trying to teach these tarot readers that these planets have more to do with it, and you don't really get all of this, and you're not really connected to anything, you're full of shit, is kind of where I end up leading all the time. All right, the above mentions 5 items of devotional activities that are so spiritually powerful that their performance by a devotee, even the preliminary stages, can very quickly promote the sincere executor of the stage of Bhava, the stage just prior to love of Godhead, or emotion on the spiritual plane, which is transcendental to mental and intellectual functions. That means you leave your consciousness. It's above the mental and intellectual consciousness. A complete absorption in love of God makes one fit to transfer to the spirit sky just after leaving the material tabernacle. Okay, and that's it. When you're in a full loving state of God, you're not trapped here anymore. You're in the kingdom of God. It's a consciousness. As they say, heaven is a vibration. It's just consciousness. And once you access that consciousness, you access, I always like to ask people, where's heaven? Bro, it's limitless. The perfection of love of God by a devotee actually situates him on the spiritual platform, even though he may still maintain a gross material body, meaning I'm right here, but my consciousness isn't. I can see beyond my 2 eyes. I can feel and hear beyond, the reality that's here on this planet. He becomes like an iron rod, and that's that thing again, and that's going back to an antenna. And when in contact with fire, actually ceases to be iron and it acts like fire. And there goes back to that fire that we were teaching in Buddha. These things are made possible by the Lord's indestructible and inconceivable energy, which material science has not the scope to calculate. I'm sure I can show you. I'm sure I have watched these guys and the scientific instruments that they use to study phenomenon, especially over there at Skinwalker Ranch. I can show you the materialization of energy. I can show you God in an energetic form. I can show you these things later. I can show you the in-between that science can't see. I can show you how to put it together. Why? Because he shows me. He showed you to begin with. Sacred geometry. All of that comes together. Yes, there's a whole team of us. Yes, we're like the Ghostbusters and shit. I'm just the dark one. Why do I gotta be the girl? Because I'm so great at it. Okay, anyways. The perfect love of God, iron rod. The things are made possible by the Lord's inscrutable. One should therefore engage himself in devotional service with absolute faith. And to make his faith steadfast, one should seek the association of the Lord's standard devotee in person, if possible, or by thinking of them. This association will help one's develop actual devotional service to the Lord, which will cause, oh, my ears are ringing, all material misgivings to disappear like a flash of lightning. All these different stages of spiritual realization will be personally felt by the candidate, and this will create in him a firm belief that he is making positive progress on the way to the spiritual sky. Then he will become sincerely attached to the Lord and his adobe. Such is the gradual process of developing love of God, which is the prime necessity for human form of life. It's the prime necessity. That's it. We're supposed to. Toby Mac, I was made to love you. I was made to love you. I was made to find you. I was made to just for you. I was here to adore you. That's it. We're supposed to love God and then be an expression of God for all others. Whichever God. Pick one. I got lots of them to choose from. Here's some great pictures. I don't know. Again, I've never read this book. Lord Krishna descends to the material world from the anti-material world and speaks the Bhagavad Gita to his disciples Arjuna. See, we just went through that. Thus giving complete information of his superior energy on page 3. The Ascending Masters. And that's what it is. We constantly, you know what I mean? I go up there and get it all the time for you. I'm constantly in heaven bringing the messages down. As I tell you, I'm the messenger of God. You know what I mean? Which God? All of them. I work for the whole, and that's why I say they. Who's they? I don't know. I never ask, because then I get some stupid-ass answers. Truthfully, I don't ask. In Bengal, in 1486, Lord Krishna appears as Lord Suri Caitanya. Oh my gosh, your words are so hard. Mahaprabhu. Okay, enough. His most liberal and maleficent form to spread the Sankirtana movement of singing, dancing, and chanting the name of God. And that's another thing. Everyone, and that's why you're always seeing me share music, telling you to dance. You have to change your vibration. Did you guys, what did I play? Planet Rock before I played this? Then I heard something else. Boop, 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 boop. I was like, are we getting on a spaceship? What are we going? What are we doing here? It's all about the music. Music is a vibration. That's why I'm tied to a bunch of fucking music dummies. Gosh. Fucking bells. You ring my bells is what they... Anyways, let's go into this. This is a pretty picture. Look at that guy. The infinite universe with their infinite planets are produced from the Brahm influence emanating from the transcendental body of Mahavishnu, an expansion of Lord Krishna. Okay, I told you, fuckers. It's just dark out there. You're just chilling, villain. That's Vishnu over there. You know Vishnu? He's another god of gods. He's the maintainer of the universe. They all have their places in time and space. But yeah, I told you, you're just out there chilling, looking at shit, watching, you know what I mean, the Starlink go by and shit. Supreme Being, who is the supreme intelligence, is the ultimate creator and all attractive personality Godhead, Sir Krishna. Look, he was young. How pretty is he? Beautiful. Anyways, these are just some great pictures. Why? Because art is so captivating. Look at this. The ultimate goal of living entity is to return home, back to the Godhead, to enjoy an eternal life of bliss and knowledge by engaging in loving devotional service to Krishna, Suri Krishna. Well, you can serve him. Look, he comes with animals and happiness. You're not allowed to eat those, though. Yeah, I could never make it. I am such a freaking... Dude, I have to cut the cow. We have to do all that. I saw it in a vision. I was like, oh, how do I kill it and do all this? I know, right? It's what I live off of. And goats, did you know cheese and all this? It all comes from the cow. It's so sacred. I'm sorry. We live off this over here, dude. They're very sacred to us, but we don't just... I mean... I'm hearing, why buy the cow when you can get the milk for free? That's not funny right now. All right, the spiritual master is an external manifestation of God, who is situated in everyone's heart as the super soul. That's it. It's inside of you to be a god or a goddess. You guys are just being Lucifer all the time. Not even. You're being this thing called the devil that God did not create. He did not even create such things. I'm just saying. These are great pictures. Oh, look. Here's a good one. Uh-oh. That looks a little strange. It is not advancement of knowledge to go to the moon after 10 years of effort to take the rock and come back. Yeah, I am the goddess of the moon. That's kind of dumb. I don't know what to say about that. But anyways, yeah, going back to it, it's all in your mind. Oh, wow. How do we come back from there? I don't know. Thank you for that ride, though. Again, they speak to me. I work with them. Everybody's mad because I work with the whole universe. But, you know, that's you and your limited beliefs. I mean, I told you, we could talk to Jesus. We could. Who do you want me to call? I'm going to call the universe on you. You're in trouble. They're so mad because you're so protected. Like, you have a direct line to source. Yeah, the hell I do. The hell I do. I definitely do. Do I use it against you? No. Not really. I'll be talking shit, but no, it's not in me. I'm not really supposed to be mad at you. I do get bothered. You bother my skin all the time. Anyways, let's talk about the Melchizedek order. Jesus, I love you. We'll talk about you. I know everybody's talking about you today. It's Wednesday. They're doing Bible studies and stuff. It's not that he's no less. It's that he's all the more. He's coming to judge. That's not in any of their books. None of their books say that. He's the guy. That guy is who plays out this time. Yeah. Not that they're not here, but totally supporting the whole bullshit, bro. Totally with the shits. Alright, I don't know where we left off. Oh, we're talking about some story. Oh, man. Okay, the Order of the Melchizedek. What's going on in this book? Simple person like myself that gets woken up and starts having to follow God. Instead, it's some dude named Melchizedek. At least he had a name. I was following Pac and Kobe for hella long before I knew I was working. No, just kidding. I mean, not really. I knew I was working for... I knew in the beginning, I was like, this is way more than one God up here, you guys. It's more than Jesus. There's something else up in these hills. There's way more than one God that I'm working for. Whose gods are these? Who are all these entities? Yeah. This guy only had one. Lucky you. Alright. I don't know. So we're somewhere in free will and accountability. Is that where we left off? I guess. Oh. It's torn down. I like to do this type of shit to my pages, so I don't know. We're going to do this. I don't know. Should we just start right here? I guess. So we are giving free will by God in order to co-create and consciously bring things into being. I say consciously because you are creating all the time anyway, and it's preferable to be aware of what you're producing. Whether you do it consciously or unconsciously, you're still responsible for your creations. And that's what I mean. Mind your thoughts. Mind your heart. Don't let that shit out. Start working through that. Don't let that out. Don't be feeding that shit. Don't be feeding that thoughts. You're like, oh, I'm so ugly. Who said that? Who said that? Don't be giving it reasons to believe that. Yeah, because my feet are fat and because of this and because of that. Who said that? Stop that. Stop feeding the negativity inside of your head. Then you walk around looking fucking ugly because you think you're ugly. You little ugly motherfucker. You so ugly. I can see it. You feel it. I'm just saying. What did Barrage say? She's an intrusive thought. I reflect back what the fuck you're thinking. Stop thinking that way. I'm just saying. Why you think that way? Don't feed it. Don't feed the monster. That's wrong. Who said you was ugly? That's bullshit. Who said you was fat? Their mama's fat. They got fat feet. Bro, they got fat ankles. They got a fat ass neck. Who said fat? I'm chunky monkey. Giddy up. Fuck off. Don't feed the negativity. Saying you're fat is just saying what? It only means something if it means something. It don't mean shit to me. Damn, I like them big. I like them chunky. You know what I mean? Fuck off. Fuck off. Fuck off. Just saying. You gotta start this shit, dude. You gotta start controlling this shit, bro. It's inside of you. You're first feeding your own bullshit to your own self. Telling yourself bad things about yourself. Who the fuck said that about you? Why are you believing that shit? And why are you feeding it and confirming it inside of you? You're eating your own shit for breakfast. That's bullshit. You're going to throw up. No wonder you're so spiritually constipated. Hey, I love you. I don't think you're fat or ugly. Come here. Let me give you a kiss. Anyways, I'm just saying. Meanwhile, people are like, that fat, ugly bitch. That's your reality, not mine. Whatever. God will become, whether you do it consciously or unconsciously, you're still responsible for your creation. God's will becoming in the universe unfolding. Imposing our will on the universe causes little aspirations to form. That's it. I can show you how I can create something with my mind. Come here, turn on all these things. I'm going to show you how this works. It's great. I can totally create something with my mind. It's amazing. Let me show you. It's thought process. Let me show you how this works. I'm going to show you how to do it good, not bad. We don't need no more negativity. And that's it. They on a freaking spectrum. I can create negative, positive electro waves just based on my thoughts in the energetic field around me. They'll be able to see it. Yes, I'll show you how thought can form. Alright. You know how the creatures consume one another and then they eliminate, and then there's a series of cycles that produce a self-cleansing universe? Oh yeah, we already read about this. Humans are the only part of the that goes contrary to the whole process by causing pollution and degradation. Because God gave us the free will. Why do we always read this over and over? I feel like I've read this a million times. I guess not. I feel like I've read this a million times. I don't know why. Okay, maybe this is my first time. I feel like I've read this a million times. Humans are the only part that goes contrary to the whole process by causing pollution and degradation. Because God gave us free will, it does not invade the space that we create here. In a sense, it stands outside of itself and maybe longs and hopes for us to be in sync with how the natural processes are unfolding, and yet it chooses to be powerless and not interfere. I'm having the most obscene case of deja vu right now. Like, I have taught this so many fucking times. I don't even know. And it says I've never read this book. I feel it, dude. Like, am I really saying this again? Okay. When Tom died, he was standing in the light. God reminded him of his commitment, his contract to perform his function here. God said, "You're not dead yet. You're not giving up your free will." Though Tom was crushed to death under a truck, he still possessed his free will, which meant he could have chosen not to go ahead and do things that he eventually accomplished. Things that he eventually accomplished. And there was no judgment about that. You have every right to do it or not. It's your option. And either way, God loves you unconditionally. So you have the free will to go against the 10 Commandments or against the laws of the universe. You have the power. Let's return to the saying addressed earlier. Not my will, but thy will be done. This may mean, hopefully, whenever it is brought into being, in the sync with God's will becoming. Then all would be harmonious indeed. Unfortunately, most humans do not have the egalitarian idea, and that's me again. And he gave her wings of an eagle, and she flew. Yeah, I'm a total phoenix, and Red Bull gives me wings. There's another story. Here's another story I had to tell. How they gave me back my red wings and made me a Blackfoot Indian and froze me up in the mountains and had me scared to death. Crazy. Crazy. Yeah, dude, I got some stories, bro. God has done. Dude, there's like total biblical stories, bro. All documented. Video footage. The whole daily willy. And instead of, seriously. I have a cop card to prove it. And instead, we acquire the notion that we are superior to all creation, to the plants and animals and environment and so on. We think that we can destroy, tear down, wipe out, and poison whatever we want. My understanding is that the mistranslation of one's word on the front page of Genesis is the cause of all of this. The word is stewardship, a word that was replaced by, I know there was a lot in Genesis, going back to the beginning. Dominion. Here you go again with your dominion. So the sentence should read, then God let us make man in our image, after our likeness. Oh, here he goes. See, you catch it everywhere, bro. God said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have stewardship over the fish of the sea, and over the birds of the air, over the cattle, and over creeping things, and that creeps upon the earth. That would be me. The Lilith dwelleth with the creepy crawlers. Yeah. Genesis 1:26. Emphasis added. Here another example. If you decide to kill me, that's your right. That's your will. But divine will is that we do not kill one another. See the 5th commandment, Exodus 20:13. You can exit to the left. If you go ahead and do it, God's going to love you anyways. It might not be God's desire that you would murder me, but you have the right and the free will being to create whatever experience you want and then learn from it. This is much the same as a parent-child interaction. The child may decide to go down a path that the parent does not want them to. Okay, I'm getting a download. Okay, stop there. A path that they don't want me to. Okay, there's a lot of stories being told about the earth angels. Yeah, I have earth angels. They're not mine. They're God's angels. I have a stewardship over them during this time and space, but I don't get to determine where their path takes them. I can only guide them with the best of my heart, but I cannot control them. They are God's children. I'm here just to, they're just a blessing to me to raise them for a short period of time, only so that they can walk in the glory of God and go do his great works. And they might not, Amelia might not, they might go somewhere where I don't think that's a good idea. Don't go there. Okay, well, God's there too. Seriously, truthfully. Some parents may say, well, it's your choice. Go learn and grow from your experience, and I will still love you. Other parents may take the opposite track. The child exercise their free will, and their parent writes them off. A parent myself, I go through this with my 3 children, watching them create, recognize the dangers on the path that they're taking, and yet refrain from interacting or interfering. They are grown. All right, now here's the thing, too. Go back to my teaching. Dude, did you hear her? Fucking genius, bro. They're just smarter, and just in essence, they're not tainted by the skin they wear. We've cleaned that skin off, so they're just walking as souls, experiencing things. But, like, her boyfriend broke up with her, and then she started talking to this other guy. And I was like, what happened to the other guy? She was like, no, I stopped talking to him. I felt like it was wrong, or I realized that it was wrong. I was only talking to him because I was lonely, and that wasn't fair to him. I'm like, what, bitch? You are so smart. I can't believe you. I mean, seriously. And that's it. They're great. Like, I gotta tell her to tell me how to use my phone and shit. I used to interpret their process, but now I keep my mouth shut. If they ask my opinion, I certainly share it. If they don't, I stand back and watch whatever needs to happen, and I pray to God that nobody gets hurt. When I think about God that way, I think that God must really be anxious about every one of us, because we are continually making decisions and not thinking about the dangers. And still, God will only love you forever. You are here to learn, and if you don't act, you can't learn. If you never walk out of the door, you'll never discover what's outside. Our religions and societies have failed us by not teaching us the responsibility of co-creation and allowing us to believe that we have no right to invade the sanctuary of others. For example, nobody, except perhaps the Native Americans, believe that trees are alive and have a consciousness. I believe it. I have all of them, and I pray to them all the time. Though they don't walk around and they don't travel, trees know what is in their space, and they've related to what's going on, and they all hang together. But we have never been taught to see, feel, or to know about the trees. There's a good tree, let's cut it down. Consider that if that was your grandmother, you'd be very slow to cut her down. You'd wail, I can't cut my grandmother down. A tree is no different. A tree is a living thing, and it has a consciousness. I'm not saying that it has a soul, but it's definitely God in the form of a tree. There's another example of respecting the sanctuary of other creatures. I saw a lovely movie, 7 Years in Tibet. That was a great movie. And as we just read about, those guys. And they have to dig up a road, and they're disturbing the earthworms. All of a sudden, everybody stopped working because they would not kill the earthworm. In the U.S., they would bring in a giant bulldozer and kill everything in the way, including the people. Yet these people stopped everything until they had picked all the earthworms out of the soil and moved them to a place where they could live. Then they finished construction. They have different levels of education and sensitivity there. Okay, so that's what I've been doing a lot of that too. It was really cool. So we had a wasp inside of the kitchen. I'm like, don't kill it. I'll figure out a way to get it out. It doesn't want to hurt us. It's trying to find its way out. So I used the dustpan. It had a stick on it and upside down, and I kind of pushed it in there, and it landed on it, and it trusted me. It stayed on it till I could walk it outside, and it went out. I've been doing that with other animals too, trying to take them out, not kill them. You know what I mean? They're not here to harm us. They're just, they're just trying to find food or water or something. We don't need to hurt things. Don't hurt it. It's not here to hurt you, I promise. Although these fucking, the bugs were killing the shit out of me, but they're not. They're just trying to feed too. I'm the only thing they can feed off of. I get it. I'm delicious. A famous actor got in front of a huge group in New York after 9/11 and implied that there was something available for us to learn from the event. And he was booed because ignorance prevails, and nobody wants to hear that there's no victims. Where did you learn that? He learned it from the Buddhists. He learned it from the Dalai Lama's teaching. There's will, and then there's free will, and free will is within will. But will does not impinge itself on free will. In free will, God gave us a gift to be able to create out of desire and intention, and to learn to create consciously out of compassion. And as it says right here, as above, so below. So I guess we do stop there. The next one would be creating and manifestations, naturally, chapter 7. So we're going to stop there, but that was part of the Melchizedek order, and that's, again, all of these are, teachings of the light. The light. Thank you, Melchizedek. And that was Enoch. Have you guys read? I don't know the stories of Enoch. Not in this lifetime. I know the land. I know I witnessed it in a lifetime, but I don't know the stories of what you've written about this bullshit. I don't know. The fallen, right? It's about the fallen. It should be. Yes? No? I don't know what you wrote. Who knows? We'll find out. I'm not ready to just... Where are we at in this? Oh my gosh, I don't have a page turned down. Turned down for what? We were reading, okay, I see where the page was turned down. Shortly ended with the Pleiadian. Okay, so she was guided by the Pleiadians. Here's another story about a woman that she was activated instead of by, Krsna. Again, this guy was just a guy that was, that was taught by Krsna. So this story is actually, we're talking a lot about it, but it was actually about a person. Daniel Alden Chessboard was born August 22nd, hey, happy birthday, 1944 in Mystic, hey, I never knew anyone from Connecticut. A newly widowed mother, his father had died something at the age of 36, 6 months before Dan's birth. He was raised by alcoholics. I was raised on welfare in the projects on the wrong side of the tracks. The project offered me an initiation into all types of life experiences: murder, robbery, rape, adultery, gang, alcoholism, and of course love. I learned early not to judge anyone, for your situation could change in an instant, and then you could become the person you were judging. Despite all these things, I did have a happy childhood and learned a good deal about life and the human condition. So anyways, this guy ends up being a whole... Oh, here, let me tell you a story. Dan's intuitive abilities came awake as his childhood with dreams and feelings that he was being guided. Let's see. Following seminary training in Andover Newton Theological School, Crozer Seminary, and Colgate Divinity School, Reverend Chesborough, that's who he was, became an American Baptist minister serving congregations in Boston, Philadelphia, Rochester, Webster, New York, and then at age 33, he became spiritual. Okay? And that's his story. Now, this is a story. This woman has her own stories when the Pleiadians came to her. Let me see if I can go back and catch a little bit of hers. She was from Oregon. This book was a clear vision, blah, blah, blah. Here it goes. In these pages, you will meet the Pleiadian emissaries of light, remarkable beings who will assist you to express your Christ presence, the joyful, wise, healthy, spontaneous, loving, immortal individual you are. They guide you through an experience of Pleiadian light work. It is an opportunity to awaken. Okay? So hers started on the western slopes of Mount Shasta. Now, on my Sunday readings... I don't know if I can find that card off the top. We talked to the Lumerians, which were the... I'm not going to pull that card right now. I'm already making a mess. The Lumerians, we accessed the Lumerians on Sundays, which are another form of civilization. The Atlanteans were also higher civilizations of the light. Okay? These are all, you would say mythology, but I'm showing you it's not. Anyway, so let's get into this. We were on this page. I'm going to try to figure out... It's the last page that I have turned over. And she was talking about she was guided to go... Oh yeah, she said that she spoke with Jesus. Jesus came and talked to her, and then she was supposed to go down and do a teaching for the last week of June, or the last week of November into December. So she's teaching them how to access their energy through their spine, is what this is all about. You're going to have to go catch my other teachings about you'll see it'll say Pleiadians. Here it was. The relationship ended. This is what she was talking about. She had her boyfriend in there trying to do shadow work healing with them. It was crazy. Randomly, I opened the book of section 315, and that's where we got stuck. When I said 3:15, we ended up in the Bible in John 3:16, and it took us somewhere totally different, and I left the book. That's why there's nothing pulled over. I was reading this, and it took us to the Holy Bible. All right, which proceeded to define Ka as the divine double, calling it by name. My mouth dropped open as I read the next 3 sections. The passage described the function of the divine double in our own enchristment, which is to make way for our own ascended master selves to enter the physical form. Okay, and I teach you how to do that. And accept, oh gosh, and this is where they use science, and this is all his words. Ugh. Accentio, there it is. Remember, I said that in one of my teachings. I was all access. They're talking, and that's what I was like, they're using universal coding. I was all the access. Accentio lines, which I believe are the same as call channels, were described as corresponding to the acupunctural meridians. These lines or meridians were described as the keys not only to physical health, but when properly aligned with our higher dimensional selves, as capable of regeneration of organs and the opening of dissension of our Christed selves into our bodies. Basically, the book outlined what needed to be accomplished in order for the mass enlightenment to take place on a person-by-person level, though it did not explain how it was to be done. The Pleiadian light work is precisely about how to accomplish this worthy, timely task. That was a clear confirmation as I could have ever imagined receiving, and my enthusiasm soared. The next came strongly into the foreground of my life. Weeks of hints was the need to write. Within 24 hours, the key of Enoch experience. 2 friends approached me with a question. Are you going to start your book? I had not told either of the people that I had any ideas about writing. And yet, there they were, telling me. Shannon said that for weeks, every time she went to her medicine wheel at the lake to meditate, a book would float in the air above the circle. She said it was by me and edited by her. And when would we start? Then Beth, a graduate of the first intensive, called. She said she had just done her first introductory evening to Pleiadian lightwork in Georgia and had been successful in having a great turnout. A majority of the attendees were interested either in classes or private work, but what had surprised her the most was the Ra had come into the presentation with a message for the group announcing, "Keep an eye out for Amora's book, which will be out in the next year to year and a half." The word Ka is scarcely known by the handful of people now, but in upcoming times it will be important buzzword for many. After relaying Ra's message, Beth said to me, "I didn't know you were writing a book. When will it be out?" My honest reply is, I didn't really know for sure either, but I guess I'd better get busy. At the point in the conversation, I was given an image of the front cover of the book, which was written by these words. It's time now. And the time I assumed in the words on the cover were the title. Later, I realized that they were a message to me. Years before, when the Pleiadians had disappeared, Ra had said, "When the time is right, we'll be together again." Months before, I asked the Pleiadians why the healing work had been introduced at this particular time, and not sooner, Ra replied, "It's time now," simply, and clearing that. And that's what I said on that top of that mountain. Where have you been? It's time. Now's the time. Where have you been? I said, I'm ready. Where have you been? Meaning I'm ready. It's time to get to work. It's time. Now's the time. And that's what I keep telling you guys. Now is the time. Interesting. I'm hearing the most crazy. It's almost like a refrigerator. You know the sound of a refrigerator running? You know that's what I'm hearing in my ear. It's a very unusual frequency. All right, chapter 3. It's time now. The message, it's time now for a spiritual revolution and awakening of the evolutionary purpose of all life seems paradoxical in a society that still values money and capital gain above human life and survival of the fittest above integrity. Even the term evolution, and that's it, I'm starting a revolution. Evolution had a very limited definition in this society. Webster's New Word Dictionary defines evolution as the following. 1. An unfolding, opening out, or working out process of development as form a single to a complex form, or a gradual progressive change, as in a social or economical structure. 2. A result or product of this, things involved. 3. A movement that is part of a series of patterns. B. a pattern produced, or seemingly produced by such a series of movements. 4. A setting free or giving off of a gas in a chemical reaction. 5a. The development of a species, organism, or organ from its original or primitive state to its present or specialized state by physiology or whatever. B. Darwin theory. Mathematical and military definitions excluded. Okay, a lot of words. In my understanding, evolution and spirit are inseparable, although not even remotely connected in Webster's or in modern life by the average person. Oh, I heard the front door. Hold on. We're going to wrap this up after it. This was the whole point that was getting to the Pleiadians, but you must understand that we're all part of it. That all religion was part of this, too. You know what I mean? You cannot exclude the other beings. No being can be left out of this human evolution that's happening, as they're saying right now. Most people still believe that we live on the only inhabited planet in existence, where every human or other life forms live only once or dies forever, where the value of every life form and sustenance is measured in dollar signs, where only the smallest numbers of special people recognized by established churches are able to communicate and experience direct relationships with God, angels, or ascending masters, and where the idea of spiritual evolution to a state of self-realization, enlightenment, and ascension is considered either blasphemous or psychotic. Really, though, because I've just shown it to you in every religion. Again, I'm not evil. I'm not, not ungodly. And I'm not crazy. And I can prove it. God didn't come out here to hang me on the cross. No. I hung myself. I already went through hell. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Across the planet has been a steady growth of number of people who have begun to believe differently. These people have awareness of or communicate with life forms from other planes. They see the spiritual evolution that goes in this lifetime. The members of this current minority are aware of the inherent sacredness of all things. They're opening their own God presence as well as communicating with angels, guides, and ascending masters. And that's it. Stop saying you're speaking with the ascending masters if you don't know who they are. I've just introduced you to most of them. Okay? Stop saying you're talking to your angels when you don't know who they are. Stop saying you're talking to your guides when you don't know who they are. You're lying. You're in delusion, and you're just trying to use these words of, as confusion. These awakened ones have chosen a path towards self-realization, enlightenment, or ascension. And that's it. You cannot possibly be self-realized, enlightened, or ascended when all you're doing every day is pulling cards. All day, every day, on people. That's not true. You're not having a human experience. You're not having a spiritual experience pulling cards on people. You're a liar. Sorry. Though this group is far from a small minority. We are the members of this group, and we are growing in numbers all the time. We are finding a louder and louder voice in this world. The paradox of spiritual evolutionaries living in the capitalistic evolutionary society is becoming more and more obvious. It will continue to become even more so as time marches on and the ever-accelerating pace. We have become a spiritual movement in a non-spiritual society. And that's it. I am the leader. I am the leader of it. I can bring all of them that study it in all forms together as one. In the understanding. Because all of them only study it in one form or another. But they don't fully understand the whole Godhead to it. You know what I mean? And that's what I mean. Spiritualists don't study Jesus. They don't know Krsna. Witches don't know. You know what I mean? Shamans doesn't know that we're all part of the oneness. The spiritual movement takes many forms. Professionals leaving organized religion to discover meditation and introduce it into the workplace. Societal dropouts, alternative healing professions, spiritual workshops, tapes, books, and meditation groups. December 31st, individuals like you and me are questioning the value of living in a world like this one, are exploring the alternatives both internally and externally in our lives. And that's it, Miss Maya, always Neff, the oracle goddess. Bitch, you ain't expanding nothing. You're not ascending nowhere. You've not expanded anything. Never mind. I almost said something dark. Hold on, bring it down. Because that's it. I've seen so many of you liars about this bullshit, bro. You know what I mean? You just use the terminology. You don't meditate. She said I was in my prayer closet for 2 whole hours. Oh, really? Yeah, the downloads are downloading. Really? What'd they tell you? My spirit guides, who are they? Really? The 808 portal. Really? 808? Is an 808? Okay. Archangel, as she pronounces them. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Your skin has no name. You're just calling out fucking Bible verses, bro. Get out of my face. I can't stand you. Then there's individuals like me who are questioning the value of living in a world like this, that are exploring alternatives both internally and externally in our lives, meaning we are detaching from those lives and we are seeking better lives. We're exploring these alternatives by examining our own thoughts, feelings, and actions. Right? We do shadow work. We don't sit in front of freaking cards checking on everybody else's lives. Let's see what's going on in the energy today. Let's be a nosy motherfucker and see how other people are living their lives. We are asking questions. We are asking questions of ourselves. Does what I do harm anyone else or the planet in any way? And that's it. Do you ever ask yourself if you should put this message out? Does this have anything to do with you, or are you just out here reveling in the pain and suffering of other people? Yeah, that's a whole devil energy. Not right now. Would I want my thoughts or judgments to create my reality or anyone else? Am I ready to care more about my impact on the earth, people, and other life forms than I do about getting ahead at all costs? And that's where they are. They're all breathe. This whole teaching is about your egotism, materialism, and your desire for dominion and to get ahead based on your fleshly, ideals and pursuits. Your ability to cause judgment and say, that's what you get. Oh, as above, so below. You shall reap what the words you sow. You want them to suffer? Then you too shall suffer right along with them. I am trying to control the people. Am I trying to control the people and circumstances of my world, or am I living in alignment with the ideals of sovereignty for all? Win-win. Instead of may the best man win. And that's what she is. Oh, well, you should have known better. You messing with us. Messing with us. Messing with who? You're messing with God's people. Who you talking to like that? Who you talking to, Miss Darkness? Darkness becomes you. I am all darkness, and I am here to expose the dark practitioners. I'm telling you on everything holy, she is a dark practitioner. She is fallen from grace. She was given a little taste of divinity, and this is what she did to it. She uses a dominion upon others. She is a false prophet, a false light, and they will dim her very quickly. Do I genuinely care about and feel compassion, not sympathy for others, whether I know them or not? Do I pray for my chosen enemies, or curse them and wish them harm? And that's it. This is a return to sender season. This is a return to sender. No, you're not trying to. You're cursing them. That's what you get. That's what you get. That's what you get. You're cursing them. You want them to be cursed. You want judgment upon them. You want them to suffer. You want them to feel what they've sent at you. You don't know how to alchemize it. You want to return it times 10. Yeah, I did that in the beginning. I did that. I just put that on all my prayers. Yep. I return your energy times 3 in the 3D for all to see. I did that. Until they said no more of that. No more hurting people. Just take it in. Bring it in. Or you curse them and wish them harm. Do I forgive or blame or hold grudges? Do you? You do not. The list of questions could go on and on, but the point is that we all need to take responsibility for how we are creating and co-creating reality every moment of our lives with every thought and every action. And that's it. How you think of me, how you think of yourself, how you think of your ex, how you think of the industry, how you think of other cultures, how you think of other states, all of that. You're wicked of heart and mind. It's time now to take a spiritual inventory and plan where we go from here. Our impact on one another and the world in general is, in fact, in order to spiritually evolve on our planet from this point forth. We must take that fact into consideration and let it matter deeply. We can no longer create anonymously at the expense of others without suffering ourselves. The spiritual laws have been changing and are continuing to change. We are now required not only to be decent, good folks, but to live impeccably every moment of our lives. The time for psychic fascination, intellectual or slow, I'll worry about that tomorrow, spiritually is over. These comments are not intended to scare, judge, or intimidate anyone, just to offer some simple spiritual reality updates. This millennium is almost over. What we do now with ourselves, our relationships, and our lives will determine the next millennium's inheritance. And that's what it is about this 818 portal. It's 818. The Lion's Gate is 818. Okay? This is how fucked up your teachings are. It has to be in alignment. Just like Easter is always lined up after summer solstice. Jesus was not born in December. They're all lined up under the stars. Okay? It's bullshit. 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 Anyways, going back to your bullshit. The time is now. In the sense of, what am I talking about? I shared it in my community page. That's why everyone's so excited about this Lion's Gate portal, but they don't even have the date right. Number two, it sets the timeline for the next 150 years. What your intentions you put out upon yourself and others. You're either going to be blessed or cursed, and that's it. I've spent a lot of time to get you right. For those that don't know, you're supposed to just do that. I teach you that, to work through your mind. I just don't teach you like they do. I teach you how to work through your darkness. But ultimately, maybe they didn't have all the darkness we have. Sometimes I wonder, the silo teaches totally different. He teaches you how to harness energy in a completely different manner. They all did. I teach you how to harness the darkness. That's it. That's the only difference, and that's because that's all that's out here is the darkness. We have to turn the darkness into light. You know what I mean? Otherwise, it's going to consume all of us, and that's why I'm here. I am the Queen of Darkness. You know what I mean? So this was a really good teaching. I'm very proud of this, in the sense of I'm just honored to be part of the Force. Again, I'm the dark force, but it's all forces are working for humanity at this time. And going back to it, all of this is nothing more than confirmation to the morning video I said, where you guys are not spiritual if you're material. It's just what it says. And there was some cards that I pulled, but I'm too tired to talk about them. Fine. One card for you fake ass tarot readers. Where are we? Right here, number 43. So, where are we? We're at the Knight of Swords. It's an adventure, a fast-moving energy. I turn to 43, yeah. Alright. Value. God the ruler. Invocation. Et ego ati dominion claviti, et mane ortio mane cravante ti. The Valea angel conveys immovable prosperity from victory over an opposing force. Well, damn. I just need to sit down right there. I've gotten every card saying that windfall, abundance, change. He's standing on top of my bag. Conveys immovable prosperity from victory over an opposing force. An inner enemy consisting of contradictions, rigid metal construction, frustrations, or delirious emotional impulses. They must be destroyed and then forgiven by our good deeds. If its influence falls without taking root, it could bring discord, martial authoritism. Oh, this is all about the egotism. And destructive and unjust actions. Whoa. That was like the most dude, destruction and chaos. I mean, they're taking everything away. That was hardcore, bro. And these are from the virtues. Whoa. Conveys immovable prosperity from victory over an opposing force. An inner enemy consisting of contradictions. Beautiful. All right, the course is the virtues. The tarot is the Knight of Swords. Planet is Jupiter. We'll be in our Jupiter tomorrow. The sign is Scorpio. Death, transformation, rebirth, occult. Erotesic is the Eight of Swords, which is a fast-moving. That's the energy of. That's the Sagittarius too. That's all Jupiter. Hey, that's a good card. I like you. Come on, fight for me. Damn it, that's a good card. I wasn't expecting that. I even got heated. Man, that was a good card. I wasn't expecting that. There was one other card that we had too, and I was laughing too. What was the last card we had? The Actor. That was hilarious, dude. You guys ended up being all actors. Did you see it? Even Logic came out as an actor. That's crazy. I think you're a bunch of cowards, to be honest. Let's talk about it. We're going to leave on this note. We are in the Tree of Life, the Kabbalah. This sums it all up. What is it? Every one of the Ascending Masters told you to leave the spiritual or leave the physical world and start seeking your spiritual enlightenment. That's what every one of these damn books said. Oh, there's the Actor. Is that you? You guys are a bunch of actors. What, are you trying to be like Marshall? You want to get an award? Oh, I can't. You guys annoy the shit out of me. On page 40. 40 water. 40, wonderful. Alright. Freeing yourself from the impingements of all form while still registering their impressions is to live. Remembering all of the names and consequences that echo and perpetrate themselves in life is to experience. Studying all your inner responses and drawing your conclusions with integrity is to know. But experience without knowledge is cowardly and incestuous. Ew. Commentary. The person who runs away from a situation and acknowledges that he or she is frightened is not a coward. The person who makes up an excuse from running away is a coward. Yeah, you're a fucking coward. If you know that if you know what you are doing but reject that knowledge, that is cowardice. So what the oracle is talking about here is escaping from responsibility. That's all of it. You know you guys are being cowards and chasing your freaking gold and silvers. The coward really does not have something in common with the actor, or does have something in common with the actor, because we all have that edge of social cowardice when we make up and act out our lies to explain our omissions and failures. We turn the truth around to make it seem as though we are the passive victims of circumstance. We create roles to sustain our image as worthy, reliable, considerate people, as we are skilled at acting out these roles. Indeed, the person who bluntly says, "I didn't feel like doing it," creates a nervous ripple around the room. Other people may be shocked and hurt to be presented with such a bold statement of disinclination. So are cowards necessary? Maybe. I mean, you could just say it. You don't have to. I saw this post. I've seen it twice on Facebook. He said, lying as an adult is weird to me. Like, who are you scared of? I saw it twice. I saw it in like 2 different days. I saw that. It's like lying as an adult is weird. Who are you scared of? Maybe it depends if you believe the lies you tell, because ignoring knowledge is here pointed out as the hallmark of the coward. But if you know you are blurring those borders between truth and illusion, and you can accept any consequence that may follow, then you are not a coward. That's it. If you're willing to accept it, Loki did. Loki didn't care. Loki didn't care what happened. He was just out for the fun of it. He didn't give a shit. Whatever happens, they're going to get me. I don't care. If you can speak whatever truth is necessary, you can play with the rest of as you think appropriate for the situation. Consider the needs of others and try to sense what must be revealed or concealed. This is the beginning of a real conscience. What we learn from our parents and our religion are guidelines, but true morality comes from within. Sometimes even hiding behind the rules we have been taught can be cowardice. And that's it. My mom said. My church said. You're a coward. Get away from me, fear base. Interpretation. Life task. Are you living with a lie? Ask yourself, what is it? And if it is holding you back, is there something that you need to tackle? What would be the very worst thing that could happen if you abandon that lie and take on that need? If you can face the worst case scenario, if you can face the worst case scenario, then you have nothing else to fear. Possible meaning of betrayal. A person who acts as a traitor. Listen here, Traitor Joe. Lies, an area of life in which you are falling short or selling yourself short. Fear of the unknown. Having the wisdom to hold back rather than rushing in recklessly. Well, that's me. Having the wisdom to hold back rather than rushing in recklessly. I don't know, guys. All I can tell you is turn from your evil ways. Again, my job daily is to tell you, leave that's no longer serving you. Turn from your evil ways. It was a good, it's a good presentation. Again, it's studied all over. They tell you this shit all over. I try to tell you, why do I speak Jesus? Well, because Jesus speaks to me. That was a good one, Jesus. I like you. I mean, seriously, I'm part of that family. All parts of family, but this is the time that's playing out now. Truthfully, we know what happened in all this time. I already did that. This is the time. But ultimately, yeah, it's like, I could teach you all about Buddha, but you're not listening. It's the same thing that they teach you about Jesus. It's the same thing that they teach you about it's all the same across the board. You just try to freaking change it up to fit your really devilish lifestyle. No, that's not what it said. Yeah, it sure the fuck is. Every book I fucking find it is. Sorry, I'm trying to put my books. Never mind. I'm rushing. Guys, to be of the light is to walk in truth. And you have to start working through your own lies that you tell yourself. Who told you was ugly? Who told you were, all these things? You have to start with the reprogramming, and that's what I teach you, the self-realization, the awakening process, the ascension process. But in essence, you can be like these people that got a taste of it and try to use it and, try to manipulate it and try to act like they're all powerful. But I promise you, they'll never see the gates of heaven. You'll see them reincarnated in no time at all. Just a whole fucking babbling baby that doesn't know what they were in any life. They'll still have to learn these lessons again. It doesn't matter. You can learn it now or you can learn it later, but you're going to learn. Why? Because you were made to learn these. You were made to come back home to the light. You've forgotten, you know what I mean? So, that's it. I speak with all beings, and yeah, especially, the light ones, they're cool, but I'm from the dark. Don't get that fucked up. I'm the queen of hell. So, those are my peoples. So, that stuff that's terrorizing you in the dark, those things that like to, slam your doors and move shit around and really scare you in the night, yeah, those are my people. No joke. Those are my people. Those are my peoples for sure. Definitely. They like to, I'm from a live off of people's fear. You know what I mean? But I'm here now to release you from the fear, but don't think that, you know what I mean? The entities that were made for such things are not doing such things. Alistair is holding down the fort while I'm up here. He takes care of all that. He takes care of the evil deeders and stuff. You know what I mean? He keeps you locked in your own fears. They work very hard to keep, you know what I mean? But ultimately, yeah, you're going to have to break yourself out of your darkness just as I did. Just as all do, Jesus was a carpenter. He had a good life before he decided, before he awoken. We all were something of the flesh. We were just plain old, people. We didn't really have a purpose. We were just doing the best that we could in the skin that we had until we became something more. And the more that we gave to God, the more power he gave to us. Do you know what I mean? But not these people. They're powerless. And they're not. They're not of the light. They're not, they might understand that at some point underneath all that fleshy desire is a soul, but it's trapped because you're just trying to, fill your flesh, and I'm here to help you with that. Tomorrow's a light day, so we'll just be in the light, but ultimately, if you want to be in the light, you've got to go through your darkness, and in order to do that, you're going to have to go catch my playlist, okay? Hey, this was a good teaching. Again, I'm just glad I was able to introduce them and how we all work together in this and why they work with me and why you can't touch me, and you know what I mean? It's just good stuff. And again, you could say I'm crazy, but I think you're fucking nuts. You're out here trying to win a Grammy and shit. You're fucking nuts. Anyways, hey, love yous. Laters. Have a good night. Bye.